everybody. Welcome to Drink of Thrones, the podcast where we discuss everything Thrones and we drink while doing it. So, as promised, we do drink while we're discussing this. And Jasmine, what did you prepare for us today? What lovely cocktail did you prepare for us today?
Okay, so for today, obviously, it was just the premiere. We have one episode out, House of the Dragons, House of D. Refuse to call it hot dog or hot D,
Hot D.
or whatever they're calling it now.
It sounds so much like dick, huh?
I think of a hot dog.
See, I think of a hot dick for whatever reason, but let's not get into that right now because then we're gonna just discover layers about myself that I'm not ready to maybe put out there.
I'm not here for the Freudian knowledge right now. But so the drink I prepared for us is, again, for the premiere, I went ahead and did a tequila composed cocktail, mostly of dragon fruit, soda water, and just a bit of grenadine to give it a little Targaryen flair. Also lined with some volcano salt rock on the rim. Again.
Okay, and then by the way, this is going to be up on our page or something, right? You'll disclose your secrets to our listeners, I'm sure. So how about we start off by this one, and I think this is going to be a thing that we do. We're gonna drink for the fallen, and of course the Queen Emma, or Aemma.
And then the little baby
and
Targaryen.
The little baby. Oh my goodness.
Let's not forget the night at the tourney.
Which one? I felt like a bunch of them died, but this is
for all the homies.
Yeah,
for all the homies out there.
Oh, pretty tasty. That salt really gives it the extra love.
I also forgot to mention I did add a little bit of cayenne. Just again, Targaryen bringing the heat.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So, what did you think of the show?
Man, what an episode, right?
Yeah, I thought it was very good. It was action packed, drama. What I did notice, and maybe you feel different than I do, not a whole lot of sneakiness quite yet.
I don't know, because
you think so?
You know what? When you said sneakiness, the first thing I think of is the hand, right? Otto Hightower. Like if you think about it, and again, just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah.
Heavy spoilers.
Oh yes.
Heavy.
If you guys are tuning in and you haven't seen the episode,
what are you doing?
What are you doing? We don't have to hold your hand. We don't have to babysit you. You know we're reviewing this, and we're a little tipsy because we were drinking while watching it already.
So we can't promise any spoilers. We're drinking out here. So
no, I promise there will be spoilers.
Okay, well,
so
if you haven't watched the episode,
go
crack a beer, have some wine, take a shot.
Yeah.
Go watch the show.
Then
come back, through and join your drinking buddies.
Anyways, Hightower.
Okay.
Sneaky.
So I think he's sneaky. If you think about it, so Viserys is mourning his lady's death.
Yes.
She's dead. His kid's dead.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, he's a broken dude, right? And you feel for him. He seems like a nice guy. But then this fool sends out his daughter, tells her to wear her mom's clothes, which is obviously he's into, right?
Yeah, wear the shit that turns me on, daughter.
It's like, hey, I know what men like in this realm. Let me tell you. Yeah. Let me tell you what you got to do next, right? So he sends her out. What do you think that is?
And also that conversation she must have with her mom, right? Like, hey, mom, dad just asked me to borrow your sexy dress that he loves. Why? Why did he say that? Not in those words, but I mean, he definitely inferred it. And then why does he want you to wear them? He wants me to go fuck the king.
Well, in this case,
he wants you to fuck the king.
No, in this case, I don't think she's gonna care much because she's dead.
Okay.
So,
okay, my bad.
I'm right. In this case, I'm and that's
but
the
if
drinks
she were
talking.
Alive, but if she were alive, that would have been an awkward conversation. But okay, so you think he's sneaky?
Yeah, I mean, he sends his daughter out as soon as the king's a free man. He's like, hey, go through. Obviously, he wants power. Him and Daemon have this whole little vendetta thing going on with each other. He chooses his house at the tourney to fuck with him. He chooses his daughter to get favor. To do what? fuck with him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he just wants to fuck with him. Even Viserys is like, hey, he likes to like, boil your blood. Like, don't give him the satisfaction.
Yeah.
But yeah, he also wants power. So I'm getting like, Littlefinger energy. Like he's playing the court. He has the favor of Viserys, but
Yeah. I don't.
you know,
I. I guess. I guess you're right. Right. And then even Damien was like sneaky by spying during that their little meeting that they had going on. Um, but there was no Varys, right? There's no character like that, at least not yet. We're gonna obviously wait how this unfolds, and hopefully many years to come to see the character development for all of these characters. If some of them, I'm sure, are gonna die. But the one thing that I wanted to ask you that I'm not sure how I feel about Damien. I see glimpses of um, decency, I guess. Or I can tell that he is obviously somewhat cruel, or it could be ruthless for what he did. But at the same time, he didn't do it to anybody innocent, right? He went to an extreme of cutting people's limbs off or sending a message, however you want to put it, but it was only to criminals. And maybe sometimes I think maybe that's the way you have to send a message. But I also would make a horrible king.
I mean, I think most of us would. But at the end of the day, I yeah, I'm honestly like I'm digging Damon. Like
Really?
yeah, I'm digging him. Like the complexity in his character has been really well done. I feel like we know him already a little bit and it's only been an episode. Like he's sweet to his niece.
Yeah, it's his niece, but
Yeah.
don't you think that sweetness isn't like a mentor?
Like you take a ball here or there, a testicle here or there doesn't hurt nobody. You know what I mean?
I
Except
get,
for the guy with the testicle. And
but I
there's
think he wants to give his testicles to his niece, is what I'm saying.
well, I mean Targaryen culture
Yeah,
doesn't
which is
make it
not.
weird. But I mean, he also seems to like his brother. Like he was obviously hurt by him at the brothel, and I mean, like you said, he didn't really kill any. He killed all the rapists and all that shit out there, right?
Yeah,
But I'm not saying that he's necessarily the best dude, but he's also like a warrior in this weird incestuous family. He's obviously like the black sheep.
yeah.
Um, but you know what? I also was thinking like I don't know if you saw any parallel to like Tyrion at all
From whom?
from Damon.
In what sense?
Um,
The wisdom part?
well, in the sense where like what's his name? Cole the
Cloris? No, Colris?
yes, him. So he was for Damon. Like he has some allies in court to say, well, yeah, like
Hmm.
he killed all the rapists and shit. Like I think I just see some kind of parallels in the sense he's the black sheep. Not
Hmm.
everybody necessarily likes him because they're like, hey, he's kind of ruthless and he's kind of killing all these people. But in this world, you kind of need to be that.
That's what I'm saying.
Like so,
Or else you die. Look at
well,
Ned,
yeah.
right? We can. It's a Game of Thrones, and now the game part of that title, it's a little. It's using it loosely because it should be more of it's a deadly game. It's a deadly game, and you have to play it right, and you have to sometimes be ruthless and sometimes do things like that, or else, for instance, obviously, I think we all can see what's coming, right? But the smart move from the king should have been when when he calls Damien into his the throne area. He tells him, and he's asking him, "Did you say it? Did you refer to my son as the heir for a day?" Right? Uh, what he should have done is killed them right there and then. But if he would have done that, there's probably no show. But
Well,
but
yeah.
the smart thing would have been just kill him there and then because there's no everything that we've seen so far from Damien is that he's not just gonna listen to what he said, right? He's not just gonna go away to the veil and that's that. He also, from what we can tell so far, we see two dragon riders so far,
Yeah,
and he's one of them.
and apparently the other one stinks. They kept. Did you not catch that? They kept saying like, "You stink. You smell like dragon." They kept
Yes,
smelling.
I like that. I like that they said that
But
actually.
what does she smell like? Barbecue? Like what is?
Dragon? What is What do you think dragon smells like?
I don't know, but the mom makes me think not good.
Do you think it smells like a giant store, like a Petco or PetSmart, just like when you're by the reptile section, just the food, or what do you think
Oh,
it smells like?
maybe. I don't know. I just thought like
Yeah,
earthy and stuff, but I don't know. But the mom told her straight up she stinks, and the dad wrinkled his nose,
yeah.
so it doesn't make me think it's anything good.
Well, yeah, it's not
You know
good,
what I
but I
mean?
like that they addressed it. Right, I like these little details that they addressed this time around, and not so much on the original series because we see the saddle. You and I discussed it a
Oh,
little bit. The
yeah.
saddle is a big deal. I've been saying it for years. Like, how the fuck would you ride a dragon and just hold it and like just grip the little horns that it has on the and if you can hear our dogs, sorry. They're adorable but annoying at the same time. Anyways, yeah, the saddle I thought was a great detail that they added to the dragon. And the smell of it, I like that too because it's
Yeah.
all little things that would be uh, part of riding a dragon.
The
And
whole saddle thing, there were no dragons. I think you got to give him a pass on that. There were no dragons.
no,
Okay.
absolutely not.
Well, okay, let's move past it. That's all I
You're
wanted
gonna
to
let
say.
your queen get on a
She
dragon.
was only some people's queen, first of all.
Well, she was a lot of people's queen.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
not everybody's queen,
she
but she was a lot of
barbecued a
people's.
couple of them right off the bat.
Well, all I'm saying is it didn't make any sense, but we can move past it to
Okay,
something else.
DRACARYS, bitches.
Yeah.
So,
Uh,
okay, so okay, I have a question for you.
yes.
So something that was different, I think. I mean, it's been a while since I've watched.
Well, I guess they're Ridden a Dragon.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
No,
2013.
since I watched obviously Game of Thrones, but in this one,
Mm-hmm.
the episode started off with a prequel. He kind of gave you like, you know, what is it, King Jaharis and his Viserys's father, right? How he had to choose between.
Well, it was 14 people made a claim. Out of those 14 people, only two were taken seriously. And those are the two that we see. The queen that never was.
Yeah.
You see that little shade that the guy did?
So they made that.
And then the husband.
Oh, dude,
I like that. He was like.
Is it Corliss?
I think it's Corliss.
Corliss. What if we're saying it wrong this whole time?
We'll fix it
Then
next
I'm
week.
sorry.
Get over it, guys.
I'm sorry. They're new. They're new.
They're new.
No.
Yeah.
And we haven't read the book. But anyways, so yeah, so I love the shade that he's giving this whole episode.
You think it was a lot of shade?
He's the whole time he's giving shade. Like he's giving shade when I think it was Otto was like, look at how he's handling the Kingsguard, and he's like, well, he's only killing murderers. Shade. Those glasses, you know how they do those.
Oh, the thug life thing.
Yeah, that the thug life
Yeah.
memes or those videos, whatever.
Mhm.
That on him, and then he still comes back, and then he does that thing at the tourney where they're like, he's giving,
Yeah, his wife.
yeah, his wife Rainey's.
Yeah.
He's giving her like the favor, and then it's like here we are, and it's like
And they're little
they
kids.
both are, yeah, and they're both giving like that little like look at each other where like that's also like glasses.
Yeah. And I think
I'm here for it.
I think this story, by the way, and I'm looking forward to this part of the story, is that it does these time lapses. We didn't quite see it on this episode. Aside from the beginning when they're showing they preface by showing how they elected the current king, but I'm interested to see these time lapses that didn't really take place in the old series, right? Where they're gonna jump maybe 10 years ahead and then maybe go back. At least that's what I've read in some of the articles online. So I'm interested to see that and see how, because it could be masterful, right? It can be just a perfect little touch that the story might need, but it could also be confusing and hard to keep up with it depending on how they do it. So I'm interested to see how they kind of lay that out.
Yeah, I think I'm interested in this. I think the same thing to see if just kind of how they pull it off
Yeah,
because it can definitely be confusing to just jump back between one time period and the other time period,
yeah,
especially what there's only like 10 episodes, right?
yeah. I think there's probably gonna be 10, and we should probably look that up if we're gonna.
So this is either going to help us get to know the characters in a way
Hmm.
that we didn't get to know the last characters,
Yeah.
or it's going to kind of be like, wait, because they're using different actors, right? For the younger versions
Yes.
and the older ones, it might just kind of be like, I'm just getting used to her. And then,
Hmm.
and then like, oh, they bring out this other one and I like her better. Or, there just might be that kind of comparison to
Yeah.
the older and the younger and that disassociation between the actual actors and the characters themselves. But I'm curious. I mean, obviously, it's been getting pretty good reviews,
Yeah.
people that have watched it, and people that, the author.
Yeah, I think in this particular series, we're probably not going to see a whole lot of replacing people because keep in mind that when the first Game of Thrones started, it was just kind of like a show that was a low budget. You can kind of see it in the first couple episodes, I mean seasons, and then as the show gained popularity and traction, then there was more money for the budget. Then they started, the effects, even the armor, whatever, and including the actors and actresses that they replaced because they probably were like, sure, I shot this pilot or I shot this thing, but I took a job elsewhere. But it became the biggest show in the world, so some of those people are probably regretting it. But in this case, I think these people that got casted know what they got into. They
Yeah.
know it's a big deal, so they're probably not going to pick other projects over this. So I don't think we're gonna see that like replacing of Dario
Well,
or
another.
the Raven in the
I
last one
also
that we saw.
liked the first Dario the best, by the way.
He was there for like 20
I
minutes.
still liked him better. What can I mean?
I guess so.
I liked it better.
I just
Justice for Dario, number one. That's
It
all
was
I'm gonna
different
say.
because you watched it after the series was over, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
Oh yeah, it was immediate. Like I noticed it right away, and I'm
Yeah.
like, where the hell is
It,
Dario Najares?
and then from what I remember, it's been a long time, but from when Dario, I watched it live as the seasons were released, and I remember Dario was in the last episode of what the original Dario was in the last episode of whatever season that was, and then it was what, a year later, 9, 10 months later, the other season comes, and then I was like, I don't think is it the one dude that was supposed to be all in love with her? And then you kind of think about it for a second. I was like, okay, and then you just go with it. And so it's easy. It was easier for me because it was so far and in between when the first Dario came out and then the permanent one.
Yeah, that
Um,
makes sense though.
but anyways, back to this one, right? Who who did you gravitate to of all these characters?
I mean, there were a lot of characters I liked. Like, I
It's
mean,
also early on. You can say, to be
yeah,
determined. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, so far, Damon's a big character for me. I
Yes.
really like his character so far. There's a lot of grayness in there. There's a lot of dimension to him, which people are
Yes.
complex. Like some people are sweet to you, but then they're total assholes to other people, or like there's a dichotomy to people and a complexity that I think for one episode was very well done.
Yeah, I think he did. You're right. That's a very good way of putting it. I do think he showed the most complexity in the sense that his first scene is him with the golden cloaks
Hmm.
and then murdering people, right? But then you see my favorite scene was probably when Rhaenyra they're at the funeral of the queen, right? And then there's the dragon, and she does the first DRACARYS of the season of the show. I mean, and
Ever
before
if you're
that,
going through the
I
timeline.
guess so, right? But when she's just standing there like frozen by the moment, he kind of steps up and tells her, "Hey, everybody's waiting for you." And then she says something in there about her father. Wonder if he was happy for that day that he had a son. And then he goes, "Your father needs you more than ever." So that's the thing. There you go. Like, well, I mean, I can see him. I could see him conspiring to. I can see him conspiring to kill the king, but in that moment, it didn't seem like it. It seemed like he wanted to. That he was sad for his brother. It seemed like he, and then also gave some advice to the princess, and then shortly after that, she makes the command for the dragon to incinerate the her mom and brother.
Well, I
You know,
think I think it's very clear that he definitely cares about his family. If nothing else, he cares about his family. His brother, I think he has affection towards. He
yeah.
says, "I would protect you." Like these people, which to an extent is true, right? These people are all know you're weak, so they're going to take advantage of you and want your claim to, your claim to fame. Like they want your power as king. They're using you. And to an extent, again, with Otto Hightower, we see that with his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as his wife's dead, he's like, okay, well, what's the best way? I'm already the hand, which is second most powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Now solidify that by marriage and give him a kid.
Yeah, I guess so.
So in that sense, but so I think he genuinely cares for his brother. Obviously, with Rhaenyra, she was the first person to when he snuck into the castle. The king didn't even know he was there yet.
No, I guess not. But oh, you know what? What's a good thing that you told me is that the king. One of the things that I think it's going to start unfolding as the show goes on is that he has this festering wound on his back, and then he just acquired another one, and he says we seen the second one from on the finger that it's from the seat from the throne, right? And then we only see that he has a wound that's festering uh, on his back. But you said something to me while we were watching it, and what was that about? If the throne cuts you,
Oh yeah. Well, that's I think that's the whole lore or there's like a passage in the books where they say like the throne cuts those who aren't strong enough or suitable enough
yeah,
to handle its power,
yeah,
right? So it's definitely a metaphor the fact that he cuts himself.
mm-hmm.
He's having difficulty making any of those big choices and making any of those big calls. When they tell him like, "Okay, well you got to pick." I mean, as soon as his wife and son dies, the council's already calling him to be like, "Hey, I don't want to bug you,
Yeah.
but like we have to choose your successor now because there's the question of secession, right? So that whole deal. So right away he has to think about that. The two choices that are presented,
Yeah.
Damon and Rhaenyra, right?
Yeah. Three, if because
Oh yeah, the queen who never was.
yeah.
So
Um.
well, you have that, but he automatically shuts that shit down. So then you only really have two, right? So uh,
Yeah, I know.
uh,
But how do you feel about that? Do you think that's indicative of him not being able to handle? Because keep in mind, it's only been 10 years since he's been appointed or crowned,
yeah.
right? So it hasn't been a whole lot of time where you go, oh, he's been, the Queen of England is going what? Who knows how long? Um, so this
Yeah, yeah,
guy's
yeah.
only 10 years in. They said really nine, and it already seems that it's fucking he's falling apart. So I don't think he's gonna be king much longer. We're gonna see what happens. Um, but yes, and also the king. Do you think he's a good king? I don't think he's necessarily a bad one.
I don't think he's a bad one, but I think that's the point I was trying to get at where he's over making these tough decisions. Those choices are hard for him,
Mm-hmm.
to choose between his wife and the son or trying to have the son go through or the brother or his daughter, those are really hard choices for him to make, and he's over that. I
Yeah.
think like that's kind of the whole his whole thing is Damon's comment sent him over the edge that he doesn't respect him, right?
Well, yeah, that was definitely something that triggered him, right? It was a sensitive subject, and especially in it's so soon from from when it happened. It just, um, but another thing I wanted to touch on before we run out of time here is that how cool was it the um, when he has that speech with his daughter, no, that talk with his daughter when he's getting ready to tell her, "Hey, you're gonna be my heir. You're next in line for the throne." But then he tells her what Aegon really dreamt, what he dreamt that made him conquer the seven kingdoms, right? Six really, but all seven, and his dream. Because we know, in case you guys don't know, the reason why the Targaryens are the only ones that can fly, ride dragons, and it's because they come from old Valyria. The story goes that the Targaryens were part of old Valyria, and they weren't the only ones that can ride dragons and had, uh, you know, uh, Valyrian steel and all this technology. It was the entire city. But the daughter of the I forget the name of one of the daughters in the Targaryen family has a dream of a disaster happening in Valyria, and they move. So the guy, for whatever reason, the dad thought it was serious enough to get up and leave old Valyria, and they ended up in Dragonstone. And next thing you know, they're the only ones that survived from old Valyria with their dragons, and that's why the Targaryens ended up on in Westeros. But okay, so that's the dream that I knew about. I wasn't sure. I don't think I've ever known about it. I don't know if it's in the books, but I didn't realize that Aegon had a dream, and that dream is obviously the of the Night King in the
It's basically the beginning of Game of Thrones.
yes, his dream is literally called a Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah, he referred to it as such. So yeah, it's basically it's a really cool way to foreshadow and kind of bring you back
Yeah,
and tie in that the last series, right?
yeah,
So
and
to
while holding the dagger that kills the Night King.
again
So cool,
a
huh?
little hat tip
Yeah,
to all the fans, right? But
yeah,
it was really cool the way they kind of tied all that in, and then that prophecy or that prediction, because obviously we know they're all about these prophecies, the king that never was, like Azor High, all that stuff is very
yeah,
much into prophecies. But I think there's actually like a thing
yeah.
about dragon dreams, and dragon dreams usually don't end well. So I guess in the case of the Doom, right, that it didn't end well for other people, but they kind of made it out. But
No,
I
and
mean,
and if we keep in mind that there's gonna be a sequel to the original series, I think they locked it in. Did they lock it in for
the
the
Jon
Jon
Snow,
Snow?
yeah,
Uh,
from what I know or what I've read,
yeah.
it's a done deal.
Okay, that's gonna be interesting to see how that happens because there's a lot of swords out there, like Dark Sister. A lot of people thought that the dagger that kills the Night King that Arya has now, it was somehow um, Dark Sister that got.
Oh, I don't think so.
Well, obviously not because Dark Sister
Is
is
Damon's?
Damon's,
You know what was funny?
and the daggers is already
I I I thought you were gonna say there were a lot of swords out there that wobbled a little bit. Like I thought you were gonna,
wobbled.
yeah, the whole kit thing where the knife came out on the Battle of the Bastards.
Uh huh. Oh, the
I thought,
rubber.
yeah, I thought you were
No.
gonna say that though.
No, 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 no. I'm still trying to forget that.
That was a pretty fun blooper. I mean, it's so stupid, but it's
The
pretty funny.
Starbucks cup was even worse, I think.
I just think it's funny that like that shit is caught because I didn't notice it until it came out.
Mm,
So I just think it's funny, like to be, just to be that I guess I was just into it because I
No,
didn't see it.
No, you're right. You could be into it, right? But the problem is that it's not a problem. The reason why people see it is because all it takes is one person to be like, "Holy shit, did you guys see that?"
Yeah.
And then it catches fire, and then But there's so many. You and I could be watching something, but if you multiply that by millions of people, one person's bound to be like, "Oh, wait a minute, they fucked up,"
It's just kind of
and
cool,
then and
like,
then then it becomes a meme, and everybody knows about it. But
yeah.
I thought that was really cool, by the way.
Mind you, when she was what is her name? A the Viserys' wife,
Emma? Mm,
Emma.
Emma?
I don't know.
I think it's whatever, the queen, yeah.
Her. So the queen,
Hmm.
the prior queen. As soon as I saw her, because I kind of like that they like showed blood all over her legs and stuff,
Hmm.
because she mentioned like this is our battlefield, right?
Yes,
So
very true.
yeah, so she mentioned that, and I kind of like that they showed the blood. On her end, I was like, oh man, I already feel the period memes coming.
Okay, we'll wait
The
and see.
period, I saw it and I was like, oh man, there's no way somebody's not gonna screenshot this and make a GIF about like,
Yeah.
day two or whatever.
Um,
I just thought that right away.
I mean, I think it's a good opportunity for you guys out there that are looking
Meme
for,
heads.
yeah, meme
I
heads.
don't know if
Uh,
that's a thing,
that's
but
probably not.
okay,
But
well,
mm, but what do
tipsy
you
scale.
what do you think is gonna transpire? What is your prediction for the next episode or in the near future of the story?
Well, how tipsy are you so far? Because
Um,
full disclaimer, we were drinking while watching the show
yeah.
simultaneously. So we started off a little tipsy. A drink has about 2 shots.
Okay. I'm feeling pretty good. I don't think I'm that drunk, but I do have a nice little ride going. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But anyways, what do you think's gonna happen?
Um, man, well, nothing good, right?
Well, yeah, we
I
know that.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, at this point, it's really interesting to see. It ended off on the note of prophecy and secession, right? So who will secede and who will reign? Because I mean, Damon's been nice, right? But they showed us that side of him.
I don't know about super nice.
Maybe not to the guy he chopped off his balls, but towards other people, I mean, he's been nice to the main characters for the most part, or at least showed some kind of affection or something, right? That makes him a semi likable character, episode one, despite him doing all these things that we've seen. So I think maybe that's gonna go away for a little bit, just because up until this point,
Hmm.
nobody thinks um Rhaenyra is even an option. She doesn't even think she's an option. She's kind of resigned that by, being like, I just want to eat cake and do whatever. But she shows her friend,
Yeah.
well, you know what, dude, you can ask me whatever and I know the answer, but I'm not a dude.
Yeah. But I don't even think that she necessarily wanted the crown. She just
Exactly.
wanted to be acknowledged by her father as, "Hey, I'm your daughter." That you're so worried about having a son that we're lacking maybe a connection here, just as a father and a daughter. But that's why. And by the way, my favorite. I know you gravitated towards Damien in this episode, but for whatever reason, I think she was silent. But I think um, the princess is someone that I think is gonna win me over even more. I think.
Yeah, I mean she's obviously the main character, right? So I think there's going to be more to come on her end,
Yeah.
but I'm curious to see the gender roles and how that progresses, because up until this point there was no, like the maester said, just because there wasn't any precedent, that's why we haven't had a queen, because nobody's done it yet,
Not
right?
yet, but
So
I mean, somebody came close already.
yeah, but the king made his choice at that
Hmm.
point to not set that
Well, this
precedence.
king, just the next one,
Yeah.
made a different choice now.
Yeah. So in this
So
case, I mean, I just think that I agree with you. I think she wants a relationship with her father independent of, the battle for the crown or power and all that, but I also think she discounted herself because the advice her mom gives her and the advice, she's not even allowed into the in the council meetings of her own volition. There are no women. She has to be a cupbearer in
Yeah,
order
she definitely doesn't have a
to be
seat.
there.
And by the way, did you notice obviously you probably did, the balls that they put on the like that plate
Yeah.
thing? What is that
I
about?
don't know. At first I was like, maybe it's just kind of like a placeholder to be like, these people are present and
Yeah,
it's to hold their place. But I have no idea. But I did
me
notice them.
neither.
I
Maybe
did notice
that's
them.
gonna
Yeah.
have a reason for it, and hopefully we get to see that. But
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the next one. I was extremely disappointed with the original series. I promised myself that I would never watch whatever came out from Game of Thrones. I was like, I'm done with it. But when I saw that it was different showrunners, I was excited about it. I'm gonna give it a chance. So far, I like it. Obviously, it's the beginning, but I do hope that they have only an X amount of seasons in mind, so it doesn't carry on and turn into something ridiculous like like The Walking Dead. That's
Well,
just ugh,
yeah,
something like
that's
that. I don't,
I
but
do think just so you know, because I don't know if you know, but this book is finished, which is the difference
yes,
from
I know
everything.
that. Yeah,
Well, so in this case, I don't think we're gonna have that problem.
yeah. I just don't want it to be too long. Is I guess what I'm saying, right?
Gotcha.
Because then that's where quality kind of just takes a dive.
Yeah, but I think that was a big problem for the last season. I mean, the beginning was written, but not the end.
Yeah,
So in this case,
we got that covered.
it's all there.
Yeah,
So
that's the other reason why I was
yeah.
like, it's gonna be harder to fuck this one up.
So
So I'm
I'm
excited
hopeful
about it.
as
I
well.
like that there was dragons already. There was fights. It was definitely you kind of hit the floor running with this particular series, and
Or
the other one was a little
flying.
or flying. Yes. But anyways, guys, that's our show for today. I hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and share the podcast. If you guys are listening, we are anywhere you find the podcast.
Anywhere you stream your normal podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah, follow us.
subscribe.
Like us. Also comment. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you didn't like. Tell
Yeah,
us if you want us to drink more.
yeah,
Take a shot for our homies, but only if you guys do it too. But again, leave
yeah,
us a comment. Give us feedback.
yeah. If you guys have any cocktails in mind that you want to send our way, we could try it and then give you a little shout out. That could be a fun little thing that we do. So brand new for us. We're excited. We're a little nervous, but thank you for joining us today. Have a good one.